Born of nuclear radiation and destined to walk the earth forever, welcome to Godzilla Reviewthon! What is up, YouTubers of the world? MegaGeek makes it here to give you guys the second installment to the Godzilla franchise, that being Godzilla Raids Again. And this is a direct sequel to the original Godzilla. It all starts off with two pilots who are out doing their usual job, that being Tsukiyoki and Kabayashi. These two are out doing their jobs. Kabayashi's plane has problems, so he lands on an island, that being Iwato Island. And Tsukiyoki, I'm sorry guys, I'm gonna butcher these names a bit because I still work on Japanese. But either case, he ends up finding him on Iwato Island, and those two decide to set up camp for a bit. Take a little break, as it were, but unfortunately, that break don't last long because it turns out they're not alone on the island. Godzilla's on the island too, and he's not alone. He's there with someone else. He's there with another monster, Anguirus. Those two are busy fighting each other. Luckily, their fight makes them go to the point where they actually fall off on the island into the water and continue to fight underwater. While all this is going on, Tsukiyoki and Kabayashi are watching it all, and when those two leave, they get on their plane, head back to Osaka, and start to look into who it was Godzilla was fighting. They find out it's an Ankylosaurus, and after learning a bit of history on what Ankylosaurs are and their attitudes, we are introduced to Dr. Yamane. Dr. Yamane, who was in the last film, Godzilla, the original one, he actually mentioned how there would be another Godzilla to appear again, and that's exactly what happened. But with all that said, he went on to explain the rampage that Godzilla brought to Tokyo and the horrors it left on everybody. And he also mentioned how Dr. Serizawa, the creator, died, and the oxygen destroyer, which killed the original Godzilla, it cannot be made anymore. So, because here's the thing, they brought Yamane because they wanted to find a way to beat Godzilla, when the truth is, there's no way to beat him in the current situation. But he did give him an idea in case Godzilla ever showed up. And that's exactly what happened. Godzilla would show up in Osaka and head straight for the city. But the military used the idea Dr. Yamane gave them, and that's the fact that light would attract Godzilla, and that's exactly what it was, because they shoot off flares out into the open seas where Godzilla sees them, and he starts to head back out to sea. It looks like the city will be safe, but oh no, it's not safe, because while all that's going on, a prisoner transfer is happening. The prisoners decide to escape, which they do. There's a car chase happening, and during that car chase, those prisoners get into a wreck, which unfortunately is at a power plant, and it sets fire to the power plant, which unfortunately gets Godzilla's attention, and he heads just straight back over there to Osaka. Yes, in this film, he's not attacking in Tokyo, he's going up against Osaka, and as soon as he lands, the military is just trying to bombard that guy. But then their problems get worse, because not only as soon as Godzilla lands on Osaka Bay, that's when Anguirus shows up, and those two continue to have their battle. And man, when they're battling around, they are just causing major destruction. And those two, they're just like grappling and wrestling and everything. And they keep going on all the way over to Osaka's castle, where the battle concludes. And the battle concludes with Godzilla using his powerful jaws to bite on Anguirus' neck until Anguirus finally succumbs to his wounds and perishes. He dies. And Godzilla makes the final touches by incinerating him with his atomic breath. Oh boy, what a crazy way to go. And with the battle over, Godzilla pretty much heads back out to sea. And with all that, they went into the aftermath of the Osaka, the destruction that Anguirus and Godzilla caused. And this is where it took a different turn compared to Godzilla. Yeah, in Godzilla, the aftermath would show the horrors of what Godzilla did in Tokyo. It showed the people who were in the hospital dying or already dead, and showing the despair despair and sadness. While here in this film, after the destruction of Osaka, when it was focusing on the main characters, while they were upset with how their city was destroyed and everything, set in flames, a sea of fire, they still were showing positivity. Like I think this was a way of referencing, saying that yes, we lost some things, but we can still rebuild. That's mostly because here's the thing: these main characters, they didn't really lose anybody important to them during that destruction. So of course they're showing more positivity and out going on with their usual lives when they're able to find a way to work around the situation and continue on with their work lives. But unfortunately, that's cut short when they get word that Godzilla attacked a boat. And finding out about that, they decide to go searching for her. Now, this is where planes, yeah, like, okay, in the original Godzilla, planes played a small minor role in that film. And that was the fact that they used those planes to attack Godzilla directly. And all that did was just annoy him as he was swinging his arms in annoyance of that. But here, they play a big climax role to defeating Godzilla. Now, the way it works is they go in a strategic route in how they defeat Godzilla. First off, they use their planes to search for him, and eventually, Sukiyaki, he's the one who finds Godzilla as he's swimming on the ocean surface, where he's noticeable and is heading for an iceberg island. It's right there where they come up with the idea, trying to battle him and figure out a way to keep him on that island. And while they're doing that, unfortunately, they lose one of their pilots who gets in too close to Godzilla that he uses his atomic breath, hits his plane, and his plane crashes into the mountain. However, his sacrifice isn't in vain. And that's what gave them the idea to use bombs on their planes to cause an avalanche and bury Godzilla alive. He would be buried alive, and he would stay that way for 7 years. While Godzilla was in hibernation for 7 years, more monsters would appear during his 7-year absence, 2 of which I'm going to do a video on this week because they play an important role in the upcoming season premiere of Godzilla King of the Monsters! So be on the lookout for that, because I'll be making that this week. But now let's go into what I thought of this video. Like, what did I say? Video, movie. Godzilla Raids Again was a really good sequel. Like, if you really think about it, it kind of put a sort of a similarity on things, but what it really did here, as I said at the beginning of the film, it introduced some themes that would be used on in the Godzilla franchise. One in particular I said was the fact that Godzilla would be fighting monsters from here on out, with a few solo adventures in his few franchises coming up in the franchise. But it also introduced another thing that would be used. It was whenever humans are having fun doing their daily lives, and unfortunately we get broken down because there's an announcement. Godzilla is on his way, and that's when it caused a panic and they would start to run away. That would be another continuous theme used on throughout the Godzilla franchise. but I really am going to now talk about what I thought of the Japanese version versus the English version, because y'all really got to hear what they did with the English version. Like, everything I discussed about what happened on the Japanese version, while here in the English version, it was just kind of like in the original English version of Godzilla. The original, it was pretty much all narration and everything, and that really does kill the film. In the Japanese version, they don't have narrations. Whenever you hear that silence, it sounds more effective. Enough of these narrations, guys. Don't do that. That's all I say. And luckily, that's pretty much what we got from then on out. But not only that, what was wrong with these guys here in the West when they got Godzilla's name? Because here's the thing. They got 2 things wrong with Godzilla. First off, when he roars, he has Anguirus's roar. No, you're not supposed to have Anguirus's roar. It was Godzilla's roar, and y'all know what his roar is. And the worst part of all is that he's called Gigantus. It's not Gigantus, it's Godzilla. Gigantus? No. Yeah, so what was up with that? And there was also the fact when Dr. Yamane was talking about Tokyo's destruction, before they went into that, he did a little prehistory on the Jurassic period, all before it led up to the radiation that happened, the hydrogen bomb that awoke in Godzilla. And they also actually started that in the English version of Godzilla Raids Again by doing a narration on the hydrogen bomb and saying what it did and everything. So yeah, basically what I'm saying, guys, is this was a pretty cool sequel to the directing straight from the original, but it's not like on my top 10 list, but it's a pretty good start off for a sequel and everything. I mean, the suitimation was better because in the first film, that thing weighed over 200 pounds. This time, they made the suit lighter, so Godzilla would have more free room as he and Anguirus are fighting and everything. Which is kind of funny how they were fighting. Arms just moving and they're pretty much just grappling each other like wrestlers too. But it was still pretty fun melee battle and everything. So I can let it slide. But yeah, if I would recommend, yeah, checking out this movie just to see what the direct sequel was to the original Godzilla. And that's all I have for today, folks. If you're enjoying my videos, all you gotta do is click that subscribe button and hit the bell icon to be notified of when I make more videos. And I will be seeing you all next time for the next entry in my Godzilla Reviewthon! Later, bye!